Well, hi. Caught me off guard. I was getting ready to hop up and go grab a cough drop, and then I realized, oh no, I waited too long, and so here we go. Notice my voice is still kind of husky. My fat cheeks are gone. I'd hardly ate for a week. I guess I lost a couple pounds, but this not good. You know, you lose muscle mass. It's not good to lose weight like this. Just because it's scale weight, that doesn't mean it was good weight to lose. But anyway, I'm glad that I can calm my coughing down long enough to hopefully do this show. If I have to put up the intermission thing and run and grab a cough drop, you'll know why. It's just been like that. But I'm glad you guys are here. Welcome to What the Fuck Wednesday. Oh, yeah, let me put the little logo up there. There we go. What the Fuck Wednesday is our weekly relationship advice live stream where people write in their questions in advance. And then my lovely cousin Candace goes through and picks the ones that she likes. I don't know if there's any really rhyme or reason to it. It's just whatever strikes her fancy. And then she usually picks 24, 25 questions. And then that's what we roll with. And there's 24 today. So we'll do these. And then tomorrow we'll finish up our summer programming with the last Dusty News Network show of the year. Normally those shows end in like the first part of September, but we on some serious CP time in 2023. So what can I say? It's going to end in November, and there you go. I don't think anybody's really mad about it. Also, I wanted to let you guys know two things. Number one, there's a survey up on the YouTube channel on the community wall. It doesn't really have anything really to do with relationships. It has to do with a contract I'm working. But I would like your input on it just the same. It's about family caregivers, you know, those people like not in-home support services or not somebody that you pay, you know, through your insurance or whatever. It's just, you know, like you got a cousin, you got an aunt, you got a sister, somebody that takes care of a disabled person or old person, and they don't get paid for it. Not, you know, any formal process. But so they're called family caregivers. And there's programs that are set up to supplement, you know, to provide these people with resources like respite care in case they have to go to the doctor or something like that. Somebody will come in who's certified, fingerprinted, you know, the whole thing, and watch the older person or disabled person for them for a couple of hours. Let you go get your hair done, let you go get a massage. You know, they have group therapy sessions. Everything is free. It's just supports for family caregivers because they get burnt out. And the argument is the client feels like, well, you know, we should, now keep in mind, this is 30-second public service amounts, which intro and outros are really about 28 seconds. They want to spend time talking about how much money family caregiver saves the government. And I just looked at them. I said, you know, nobody cares, right? Nobody cares about that. If you're pushing these people that you're providing support for them, then talk about them. Talk about their needs, what what they need to do better, what they need to be calmer, what they need to reduce their stress, what they need so that they can do a better job caring for these, seniors and disabled people. Let's focus on that for those 27 or 28 seconds. Oh, no, no, no. Because a lot of people don't want, they don't want services because they feel like those are entitlement programs. And I'm thinking, who gives a shit what they think? If that's what they want to think, then let them think that over there somewhere. The programs, services are for people who don't have stupid attitudes and who understand that these things are there and the money's already spent and it don't matter if you use them or not. It's not going to save, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to, you not utilizing the services because you feel like it's entitlement is not going to put the money back. Okay. So either it's used and the services, because people still get paid to provide the services, whether you use them or not. And so I'm like, we're at a crossroads and I've said, okay, let me take it to the streets and find out from you guys what you think. Like if you're in a situation where you're caring for someone who's disabled, it could be a child or an adult, and you're facing burnout. I mean, you got a job and plus you do this too, and you got your own family or whatever. What is it that you would want us to talk about? And is talking about the money that they're going to save, the government is going to save by you doing this grunt work, is that important to you when we're trying to get you some supportive services? So that's the question. It's on the community wall on the YouTube channel, and I would appreciate your input so that I can go back and have a better idea. I mean, I may be wrong. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe I'm looking at this wrong. And so y'all straighten me out, which I know you will be happy to do. Okay? So let's get started. We got question number 1 of 24 questions today. Oh, I see. She didn't format this. Okay. This young lady is in the 22 to 27 age group, and she says, am I overreacting in this situation? How should I handle this going forward? My partner is 26. Last night just told me that I'm too sensitive and he can't have a conversation with me because I can't accept his criticism or can't converse without me getting sad. This argument affected me. I fell asleep with the feelings of hurt and it stuck with me till I woke up. We spoke of his issues. I was opening up to him about my fears dying, and then the topic of religion came up, and he was being too persistent and wasn't accepting that I really didn't want to talk about the topic anymore as it was too much for me. I had already been crying and was sentimental over the deep conversation beforehand, yet one thing led to another, and I'm being told that I am sensitive. How should I have reacted to this? He said, quote, don't be sensitive, and I followed by saying, well, how should I do that? And he said, control your emotions. And I said, control my emotions. Okay, I'm going to do that. Suddenly, the conversation ended in silence. I feel so humiliated. Am I being delusional, or is there something wrong in the situation that I'm not seeing? I don't even know if this is of importance, but I am studying social work. I literally have empathy and sympathy in my nature. This made me question my whole self, and I am so confused. It's especially hurting more since it comes from him. I'd appreciate if I heard your opinion on this matter. Thank you so much in advance. Okay, so you guys were having a conversation, and he said you were too sensitive, and you were talking about your fear of dying, and you're 22 years old. And then the topic of religion came up, and he was being persistent. You don't say how he was being persistent. Was he like adamant that you believe in it, or adamant that it doesn't? I mean, you left a hole there. You didn't want to talk about it anymore, and it was too much for you, and you'd already been crying over the sentimental, deep conversation beforehand, and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, in a certain sense, he's right. There's a video on this channel. It's one of the tenets of this channel that I teach women is to control your emotions. Because, see, what happens is when you get into all these tear-jerking moments and your feels and stuff, you think somebody gives a shit. And the reality is nobody cares about your feelings but you. Okay, especially in something like this. This is not about you personally. It's not about a pain you experienced, a hurt you personally experienced, an accident you had, a loss you suffered. It wasn't anything really to do with you personally. So you getting all in your feelings about it and crying and snotting and everything is just ridiculous. So I think he's right, and you need to get yourself together, chick, If you're going to have a relationship with anybody, there's not a man on this planet who's going to cater to your emotions. They might, tolerate you a little bit, but just like you see here, dude is getting sick of you. So you better get it together, wrap this up, tie some ends on this and stop it. Now, anytime that you don't want to talk about something, you stand up and say the conversation is over. I told you I don't want to talk about this anymore, so don't. And then you get up and go into another room, or you leave his house, you get in your car and you go away. If you all live together, you get in your car and you go to your friend's house and go meet your girls at the bar. You do something that lets him see that you're serious about this conversation is over. Because you're not going to deal with it anymore. So, you didn't do any of that, though. You just sat there crying. And I really don't understand what you're talking about, you fear of dying for. That's stupid. At 22, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get yourself in some therapy. You sound like a mental case. For real. Okay? You got so many things to be thinking about living, not being 22 years old, thinking about dying. You sound like a nut. Question number 2. I feel like my boyfriend disrespects me in regards to his friends. She's in the 22 to 27 age group. He's 28 to 34. It's a stupid thing that keeps recurring in our relationship during different events. We've been together for about a year and lived together for 6 months. Honestly, it's the best relationship I've been in, and we're still very much in love with each other. The problem lies more with his friends. My boyfriend has a group of friends in the 26 to 32 age group. They're mixed genders who become loud, annoying, and rude when they drink. They are always happy and do silly things like lying on the dance floor. What? And dry humping each other. What? I don't really like them, and I think they should grow up a bit, but yeah. My group is quieter. We're in the 20 to 28-year-old mixed genders, and we enjoy discussing things, talking, laughing, and playing board games with a few beers. Whenever we have an event and both parties are present, something happens, and it's always my fault. The last event was a party I threw last weekend for my promotion. I informed my boyfriend's friend group about the plans, and their first question was about whether XYZ was available to watch. My boyfriend jumped into the conversation and said he would take care of it. I got upset because of the way I was asked and because my boyfriend took the lead and told them he would handle it. What if I didn't want it at my party? So I told my boyfriend I didn't think it was his place to react, and I was annoyed that he said he'd take care of it. What was taking care of it? Talking to me, fixing it, not considering my feelings? My boyfriend thinks I overreact because I don't have a good perspective on the situation, so he believes my feelings are invalid and unnecessary. He also says he doesn't mean it in a bad way and that I'm just too sensitive. Oh, this is a recurring theme tonight, huh? Making a big deal out of nothing while everyone else is having fun. He thinks I have an unwritten rule book that he can't possibly follow and that I should just relax sometimes. This hurts me, and I can't just switch off my feelings, so I take some time and we talk later. Okay, so she goes on and on and on. This has happened for the 3rd time in a row now. I find it really hard to explain to him why he tells me I'm wrong, makes me feel even more hurt. Yeah. I could really use some advice because it's not about the initial situation anymore, but rather about the feeling that my feelings are by definition wrong. I feel like I'm broken or wrong for feeling the way I do. And my boyfriend feels the same, that I'm blaming him for saying maybe or fixing stuff when I assume the worst with his friends. So this is an easy fix. First of all, let's do this. Stop having parties at your house where his friends come, right? Don't even tell him about it. You have a gathering with your friends at your house. Your boyfriend does not need to be there, okay? Just because you guys are dating does not mean you're joined at the hips. Even when you're married, you should have your own friends and your own social circle and your own social events that your husband, wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, don't have to be a part of. Men have fishing and hunting trips all the time. The wives aren't there. Wives go on spa weekends and girls' lunches and massages and all this sort of stuff here. Get their nails and mani-pedis and all this kind of stuff done. Not a man in sight. Women have, pajama parties and hen sessions, and they sit around and drink wine and gossip and stuff. Watch sad movies, all this kind of stuff, just like they did as teenagers. Does a man need to be there? Absolutely not. So the thought that you have that you need to invite him to your promotion, his friends rather, to a promotion party that you're having that only your friends and family care about, not your boyfriend's friends, was just kind of some amazing leap in logic. And I don't understand where you got that thought from. Start learning to be independent from this motherfucker, okay? Because once you put some space between the two of you, you'll see that he's a jerk. His friends are stupid, immature, and retarded. And then you can let him go and get you a man that has some sense. But right now, you too caught up in the fact that this is your boyfriend and you just want to be joined at the hip like the Bobbsey twins or something. You need to learn how to be independent and think independently and make independent decisions that are in your own best interest. If he should ever try to regulate what goes up under your roof ever again, you tell him, you know what? You and your friends are uninvited. I don't want you at my house. My party is going to be the way that I want it, not the way that your friends want it. And y'all want to do something like that, then you do it at your house. That's how that's going to go down. And that's all you had to tell him. And he would have been shocked and, had the Pikachu face. But what he would have done, he would have done what you said, because he would have known by the time he tried to show up at your house with his raucous friends, the door would have been slammed in their face. And it's the kind of thing like with me, if I had a boyfriend like that and he on the sister, he gonna bring some crew like that up in my crib anyway, I'll be like 911, Oakland's finest, come get these motherfuckers out my house and take this boyfriend with you. So I don't play those kind of games. I decide solely what goes on in my house, who's there, how long they stay, what they gonna eat, what they gonna drink, because this is my stuff. If anything happens to the walls, the carpet, the furniture, my jewelry, my antique crystal glassware, to my artwork, anything happens there, that means I'm responsible for it. So I have to be very careful about who I let up in my house. Your boyfriend's raggedy ass friends would not be in that group. And what grown man humps on other grown men like that? Where they do that at? Girl, that's some highly sus stuff right there. I'd be looking at him with all kind of side eye, right? Yeah, she said dry humping. And these are men in the, he's like 28, 29 years old. I'm like, I don't even know what to say with that. That wouldn't be my man. Child, oof, I don't feel good. I feel, when you're still sick and you're not all the way sick, but you get those like flashes of, feel like fever, where you just feel hot all of a sudden. Yeah, I feel like that right now. Let's move on to question number 3. So you guys heard what I said right about going on the community wall and taking that survey for me right quick. Even if you don't do any family caregiving, you probably know somebody who does. And then here is the link to the Just Say No webinar. A couple of people have already signed up, just started really promoting it. But it's Just Say No webinar. This is it right in here. A lot of young ladies who are wrote in tonight and every night that we do this show need to be there. Okay, it can only accommodate 50 people. So after that, you just gonna be too late. But hopefully enough people will, everybody who will want to sign up can sign up. It's just $19. You can pay a Cashapp or you can do it on PayPal, whichever one works for you. And it's going to be on the 29th of December, right before New Year. So you could go into 2024 with a new attitude and have your stuff together. Okay? So the link to it is in the chat stream here on YouTube. And hopefully, you answered the survey. Thanks, Mo. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, what? Where'd they do that at? But anyway, let's move on. We got 24 questions tonight. This is question number 3. This is a young lady in the young man in the 22 to 27 age group. And his summary of issue is, am I being crazy about this? I'm not sure. I'll try not to write too much. Thank you, Jesus. So here it is. There's a girl that I work with, and I'm absolutely head over heels about her. I legitimately can't think of another woman I know that I think is as pretty as she is, and there's many other things I like about her too. That being said, I only see her at work, and I don't talk to her that much anymore. There was a period when I was always trying to pair up with her for a specific work required task, and it was fine. We would talk and we would laugh and stuff. But then one day she asked me why I only paired up with her. I didn't get to answer the question. In fact, I don't really remember why. She said something else, I believe, and the conversation went to her talking about how she doesn't like talking to people. And I said, but you like talking to me? To which she flatly replied, no. Maybe I read too much into it and took it too seriously, but we didn't really talk for a while after that. I felt super embarrassed and all that and was pretty sad about it. That was a few months ago. Anyway, recently here, she started talking a little bit, and here and there we would run into each other, but nothing crazy. There's another woman in my life who, or something, I don't know what that means, and all that, but I'm not really interested in her, at least until I'm sure there's nothing here with the first lady. Recently, I've been thinking about it more, and I'm set on telling her what I think and asking her out because I'm going crazy, and I doubt she has a clue, LOL. It all feels so silly, like I'm back in high school, but I'm not all that experienced with women, like 2 serious relationships and maybe 1 or 2 other short-term things, and I'm 27. Is this a bad idea? Should I just go for it? Am I being a wuss and way overthinking this whole situation? If there's even a 1% chance she'll go out with me, I have to try, right? Advice appreciated. Well, my caveat in a situation like this is, the work thing. Not a fan. My motto is never get your honey where you make your money. So, you would be in violation of that rule. Now, a lot of companies don't have that policy and they don't care. I don't know which one you have. You might want to investigate that. And, and she might care, even if you don't have a written formal policy against, company dating. She might care and she might turn you down just for that reason. So if I were you, I would, I can see this is going to eat you alive. You're going to have to do something. So what you might want to do is go back and you say, something's been bothering me and I just want to revisit this, because you're not going to ask her out yet. You're going to ask her this first. And you're going to say, when we were talking and you asked me about why I always paired up with you, and I said that you seemed to be okay with talking to me, and you said no. Why did you say no? What was behind that no? Because you want to know, right? I mean, I would want to know. I would ask her right then, but you tucked your tail and ran away, so you got to come back months later, and she might play that game with you like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're saying. I didn't do that. I didn't say that. And then you're going to look stupid, because, see, this is why when something like this happens, you need to jump on it right then and there. You don't let it simmer and wait. You ask the person that made the statement right there after they say it, right? That's what you should have done, and I want you to do that every time in the future. But for now, that's the approach you're going to take. If she plays stupid, like, I don't know what you're talking about, I never said that, I don't remember, any of the kind of answers like that, then you just say, oh, okay. And then you're going to go away and you're not going to ask her out. You know why you're not going to ask her out? Because that means she's not interested. If she were interested, she would explain, and the explanation would be positive. But if she plays a game like she don't know, and that means she's not going to give you an answer, that is a sign that there's no romantic interest there. Read the room, okay? There's no need for you to be like most dudes and be stupid and press, but that doesn't really tell me anything. I don't understand what she means. That is very clear, okay? If a woman's interested in you, she's going to make it known that, she's going to extend the conversation. She's going to give you something that feeds your desire to ask her out. It may be very subtle, but it's going to be there. But a straight shutdown is, I don't know what you mean. I don't know. I didn't say that. I don't recall. When was that? Anything like that, she's dodging the issue. And that means she don't want to talk about it. And that means she don't want to talk to you. Okay, so read the room and just leave her alone. Yeah, it just amazes me how many men don't get that. They be like, oh, they think they don't have no player skill. It makes me wonder what these fathers be doing these days. They don't teach their sons anything. But I shouldn't be surprised, because the mothers don't teach their daughters anything either. So anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about this. Question number 4. She's 22 to 27. She says, how do I deal with a control freak friend who needs to get the upper hand in everything? I have a friend who describes herself as very particular, end quote, and has admitted that she purposely gives people a hard time and likes to push their buttons. Of course, the easy answer is to drop her and disassociate myself. However, we run in the same circle and often planning activities for our friend group. What is this friend group thing? Did I miss out on a part of development or something? Because I don't remember having a friend group outside of high school. In high school, I had a friend group. Once I graduated from high school, I didn't have a friend group anymore. But these people being there, damn near 30 years old, still talking about a friend group. What? Okay, am I missing something? There's seem to be a lot of arrested development and immaturity here. How are you going to be hanging out with a whole group of folks as an adult? Trying to set your life up for a partnership, but you still hanging around with 27 seven goofy people that you knew from high school or from college. Does somebody, okay, if y'all get it, please type it in there so I can read it later, because I just don't understand this friend group thing for people that are damn near 30 years old. It just makes no sense to me. Okay, so anyway, so she got this friend group. She said, so whether it be the tequila brand we purchase, or where we order pizza from, or how to go about transportation, what's on the TV, the type of bar we go to, our personal opinions brought up in conversation. She disagrees with everything I say and always proposes what she thinks or knows is best. How do you deal with such a friend? I cuss her bitch ass out. What are you talking about? Why is this even a question? Because, oh, that was it. That's the question. Okay, so it's you're giving your opinion, right? And she got a different opinion. Then you just shut her down and say, shut the fuck up. Who asked you? I'm giving my opinion. Shut up. When I want your opinion, I'll ask you for it. Until then, you need to just shut up and listen. Because you just be doing the absolute most. Thinking somebody gives a fuck what you think. Nobody gives a shit. So, you going to participate in the activities as we laid them out, or you can take your ass back home. Nobody really cares. Either way, it's just grand and wonderful. Okay, that's what she would get from me. That's why I don't have friend groups. Because I don't like that kind of stuff. And I like to do what I want to do. And so it's like, a dictatorship. I don't want nobody else's opinion about what we going to do. I mean, if I ask for it, yeah, that means that I'm willing to listen, and I probably care, because that's why I asked that particular individual. But in general, I don't care what other people think. I don't care what other people like, want, believe, nothing. I care about what I think and believe and want. So in a situation like this, she would get shut down, because I would really seriously not give a fuck what she had to say and would be real quick to tell her that. So you wrote me and you asked for my very rude opinion, so I just gave it to you. Okay? Now, can you do that? I doubt it, because you dealing with stupid stuff and writing letters about it instead of cussing that bitch out. I'm just like, whatever. Let's move on anyway to question number 5. This young lady in the 34 to 42 age group, she says, my touchy-feely boss is in his 50s and gives me the icks. What do I say to make him stop? And you almost 35 years old? I'm 34 and I have a boss who's 50 who is incredibly touchy-feely. It started to bother me lately, and it really gives me the icks. Anytime we're chatting, he'll touch my arm or shoulder or my back. When we sit and have one-on-one, he brings his chair so close to mine that we literally share breaths. My desk is in a corner, so there's literally nowhere for me to go. How do I approach this? The thought of saying something rather fills me with so much anxiety, but I know I shouldn't be feeling uncomfortable at work just to avoid hurting a man's feelings. Help, please. You're going to continue to feel that way. You know why? Because you a wuss. You are weak, and you have no spine. So you let this man do all of this to you, and then you just sit there and write a letter to me. Now, one time, I bet, have you ever told him to stop touching you? Have you ever thrown his hand off of you? Stomped the instep of his foot when he got too close? Tell him that his breath smells and to back the fuck up. Tell him to go back and sit around the side of the table and give you your personal space, your social distancing space. You don't do anything, do you? You say nothing. You just sit there and talk and take it just like a stupid woman. And there's so many of you like this, it just drives me crazy. You don't say shit. You don't say no. You don't put up any boundaries. You don't tell motherfuckers to stop. You don't make them get their hands off of you. You don't tell them to back the fuck up or get away from it before you call HR. You don't do anything. You do nothing. And then you sit there like praying, I guess it's supposed to happen by magic, that the guy's going to stop being like a pill. You think that, because you wish it and hope for it and pray for it, that it's going to happen? It's not, as you see. The thing about this is, you too old for this shit. This is the kind of stuff that they usually do to really young girls because they know they don't really know what to do. Your ass is on the downstroke to 40 years old and you still stupid. I cannot with you. There's just no reason why a 34, 35-year-old woman would tolerate this kind of nonsense on her job. 20, 18, probably, because they don't, like I said, are new at it, and they don't really know what to do yet. They're kids still. Your ass is almost middle-aged and still weak and still stupid. I cannot with you. Yeah, I mean, I just like this kind of stuff, okay, we're chatting, he'll touch your arm and say, get your fucking hands off me. Have you lost your mind? Don't put your hands on me. I'm not your woman, motherfucker. Don't. Okay? I have been known to say stuff like that to people at work. You talk low, because what they going to say? Because they were doing some shit they didn't have no business doing. So what they going to try to report you to HR for calling them a motherfucker? They're not going to do that, because then HR is going to say, well, why did she call you a motherfucker? They go, well, because I was sexually harassing her. So, you can get away with it in situations like this. He's not going to do nothing. He'll step back and be shocked and appalled, like, again, I had a Pikachu face. But you ladies don't do shit. You don't do nothing. You just sit there and then you write to me like I'm going to do something. Okay, then he moves his chair so close to you, but you can't move your chair out. You can't stand up. You can't go to HR and tell them that you need to change your desk out of a corner because you're being sexually harassed by your manager. You can't do none of that. You can't ask for a transfer to a different department. You can't do nothing. You can't leave and go to a different job. You can't do, there's no options here. There's nowhere for me to go. You have everywhere that you could go, including to a new employer. But again, you're not doing nothing. Okay, and the thought of saying anything fills me with so much anxiety. Okay, you know what? He's depending on that because that indicates weakness. That indicates someone who has no spine and who is just setting herself up to be a victim and is okay with it because of the fact that you're not doing nothing to stop it. And a lot of women are going to say, no, I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with it. Yeah, oh, yeah, you are. So because let me tell you how this works. Your words and your actions have to match. Right now, your actions are saying you okay with it, and you ain't saying no words to contradict that. See how that works? So as far as the person who's observing this situation, and especially him that's in it, it looks like it's okay because there's not one thing you're doing and not one thing that you're saying to the contrary. And yeah, I know this may sound mean. I know a lot of women are going to be like, oh my God, that's terrible. You shouldn't talk to her like that. No, the fuck I'm not. She need a reality check. I mean, like I said, I have patience with young girls, they just out of high school, they first full-time job, they first out of college, whatever. They don't know, okay? Their parents are lagging and haven't told them. You've been in the workforce for 15, 20 years, or damn near, and you still stupid. I can't. Let's move on. Question number 6. Oh, okay. So how old is she? I don't know. Anyway, the dude she's dating is 32. She says, am I a jerk for wanting to dump my boyfriend for being financially irresponsible? I've been dating this 32-year-old dude. Let's call him Bob. For 3 months now. I met Bob on a dating app. Well, there's your first mistake. We liked each other, had good connection, and decided to make exclusive in a few weeks of dating. But recently, I started getting close with his family, and he told me he grew up with an abusive father who did not contribute much to the family emotionally or financially, which pushed him and his 2 elder siblings to take up responsibilities at a very young age. Bob has been working since he was 16. Because of that, he could not afford to get a proper education. He's been freelancing in the fitness industry for the past 12 years, and currently he's pretty established in a happy place career-wise from what he's told me. He lives with his mother and oldest brother. Bob, being the only breadwinner of the family, he takes care of this family and supports his brother to pursue his education. Only after I started closely hanging out with the family, I noticed that they are heavily struggling financially. Bob has been borrowing money from me for house rent, gas, and other basic necessities. The other day I was visiting him and he told me that he didn't have enough money to buy rice. Rice is a staple in our culture and is what we eat almost every day. I'm a very empathetic person. I do feel bad for the situation, but on the other hand, the numbers that he told me he makes did not match up with his financial situation. I love his journey. I love the way he turned around his struggles, and that's one of the qualities that made me choose him as my partner. I wanted to be a supportive partner and was ready to build from scratch with him, stupid. But what throws me off is I feel that there's a lack of clarity and honesty when it comes to financial terms. A little flashback to when we started dating. Bob would take me to these very expensive fancy dates. I would split bills with him almost every time except for the first few dates. This was a little bit of a financial burden to me because I was switching careers and my job wasn't permanent yet. But looking back, this feels very unnecessary. Why would someone pretend to live a certain lifestyle when they clearly don't? Right now, I feel catfished. We are both adults and understand that everyone goes through money crunches at times, but it's the fact that he borrows money from me for very anticipatable expenses what turns me off. I also feel he's being irresponsible with his money. He's not honest about his finances. Yesterday, he borrowed some money from me to buy groceries, and today he asked me if I would like to go watch a new movie with him at the theater. I denied, saying both of us are not in a place to afford this. Later, he went ahead and booked the tickets to go watch a movie with his mom. And now guess what? He asked me to pay for his tickets because he has not returned my money yet. This behavior frustrates me. I've tried initiating conversation. He cut me off, saying this is a very sensitive topic for him. He's been denied education and other opportunities due to his financial status. And this was the reason his previous relationship didn't work out. On my side, I'm struggling to put up with this, yet I can't find the right way to articulate my concerns without touching his insecurities. Please help. You just a sucker. That's what this is. You met somebody who's just so suck you dry because you you just getting played. That's what this is. First of all, let me tell you something about okay, if he doesn't have any, even if he doesn't have any education, he should have some national certifications. If you have national certifications, especially like NASM or ACSM or something, ISSA, something like that, and then you go into gym, I mean, you can make, 40, $50 an hour. Unless you're working at 24-hour fitness or something like that, then they don't make that much money. But your regular high-end gym, you make some good money. When I was working as a trainer with my additional certifications and specializations in, people with disabilities and stuff like that, heart recovery patients, stroke recovery patients, limb replacement people, and that's specialized training. And that was my title, specialized trainer. I was making over $100 an hour for my training. So if you're a good trainer and you got good skills, you make grand theft money. It's just ridiculous how much money you can make. You're not going to make as much at a gym as you make. I made more with my private clients than I did at the gym, but I still made a really good income at the gym, which, you augmented by another 30, 40,000, on the side. So he could be making all kinds of money. So I'm not really sure what, where you guys live and what kind of income he's making and what kind of certifications he has and how much he can charge. But I'm just telling you, here in the Bay Area, that's the average salary. So, but what's happening with you is you being used. And the main thing is he found somebody who's stupid because you sitting up there in your 30s talking about, I could build from scratch. Look at my video called Never Help a Man. And then listen to it about 500 times until it burned into your brain. All the stuff that you're doing to help him, you should not be doing. He's using you, and you just stupid and just letting him under the guise of thinking that you got some relationship. I don't know what to tell you, but the smartest thing that you could do would be to cut this off and cut him off and block him and just move on with your life and stop getting into relationships with men that are needy. Men are supposed to be the providers. You're not supposed to be providing for them. Anytime you got somebody like that, he's just pimping you. Let's move on to question number 7. This is a young man, the 22 to 27 age group, dating a young woman, the same age group, for a year now. And he says her alcohol problem is causing problems in the relationship. And no matter how many conversations we have about it, things aren't changing. Well, because she's a drunk. Drunks don't change. We broke up a year ago due to the same use of alcohol. She likes to get drunk 3 times a week to the point where she can't even walk straight, and our fights happen only when she's drunk. It's becoming an issue I've seen my relatives pass away because of excessive consumption, and I don't want to go down that path. Her doing the bare minimum to survive is her definition of trying to get things in order. I'm not sure if I should just break up at this point because she keeps repeating her actions. Well, of course, you should have broke up when you was away from her the first time. And then you need to go to Al-Anon because you have some serious codependency issues. It's sad that you're so young. You're 25 years old and you're on this very negative track here with a young lady. It's sad, too, that she's only 27 and she's a drunk. But, that's not your problem. That's not your problem. You need to take care of yourself. Okay, so look into going to the Al-Anon meetings and get yourself some help so that you could heal from your toxic family of origin and never ever pick someone with dependencies like this again. You can't be with somebody like this. You need a person who's whole and sane and healthy. Poor child. Yeah. He's like, should I break up? I'm like, is water wet? Okay, question number 8. This is a young lady in the 20 to 34 age group. She's Latinx Spanish. The other party is female, 35 to 41. And the other party is African American. Okay, summary of issue. I have an issue with a female friend and my marriage. Okay, Miss Deb, my name is, I'll just say first initial J, and my friend V is 36 and I'm 32. I'm in a successful marriage with a black man who I love very much. My husband and I are expecting our first child as well. V, however, dates bums, okay, dusties. She dates hood guys, guys her age who can't do anything for her but leave her with a wet behind. She is a successful woman who can do so much better in her dating choices, and I've told her that, as well as I don't care to hear some of her thoughts on dating because I'm married and not on the dating scene. She dates black men who do her wrong. My husband is a complete opposite. He's into hockey, he reads, he's a good guy and a provider in more than just a financial way, and is a nerd like me. V is more of a feminist and I am more traditional. Okay, that don't have nothing to do with it because her being a feminist don't mean nothing. It just means, in this case, you're talking about her behavior, not her feminist belief system, but I'll let it slide. Due to her choices in men, she's always talking bad about black men and telling me how I should leave my husband because black men are pieces of crap and how I am taking her men because I am Spanish and how black men only want women like me. What? I have told her that what men choose has nothing to do with me, and her results are due to her choices. I'm tired of her talking bad about me, my husband, and Spanish women, myself included. Am I wrong for wanting to end our friendship? No, you should have done it a long time ago. You have to look at this situation like, and just ask yourself bluntly. I mean, we have friends that we had at a certain time in our life. We met them, and for me, it was like I used to call they weren't really friends. They were like road dogs. We hooked up to go out places, to hang out, travel, bullshit around, maybe go out to eat, something like that, flirt with dudes, drink, party. That was it. They didn't know my secrets. We wasn't spending the night at each other's house, spilling our guts, talking about stuff, sharing our family stories and all this kind of stuff. That wasn't part of our relationship. Our relationship was very superficial and was all about fun and partying. We both knew that. So in a situation like this, I mean, that may be how it started, but then you got married and now you're pregnant. You know, you on a family track and she's still farting around with dusty men. So in a certain sense, you know, and especially, I mean, you could have still been friends with her if she had any sense, but she doesn't. And so what's happening now is the relationship between the two of you has turned toxic for you and is the absolute opposite of what somebody on your track for life should be having. You should be having women who are, you know, on the same page as you, young, married, you know, starting their families, looking forward in life. She's going in circles and still, you know, circling down the drain with idiots. So what you need to do is call her up and say, you know, I've been kind of reviewing some of our conversations that we've had recently and some of the things that you said to me that were highly disrespectful to me and my husband in our marriage. So what I'm going to do, what I've decided to do is end this friendship. Um, it's been great knowing you though. I really do hope that you start making better choices and that you take better care of yourself. But I cannot put myself or my husband or my family in a position to hear the kind of things that you've been saying to me or to be treated and talked to the way that you seem to be okay with treating and talking to me. So thank you very much. I've enjoyed our friendship. Bye bye. And then you block her. And you don't have to yell and rant and rave and be all crazy and stuff. But, you know, the time for a lot of friendships, you know what I mean? The time comes to end, it just ended. No biggie. Question number 9. She's in the 18 to 21 age group. Did I, 21 years old, ruin our relationship by heading home after he was 30 minutes late? This happened, so tell me if I messed up. I'm 21 and I met this guy who's 30 on a dating app a while ago, and we went on one date 2 weeks ago. We were supposed to meet up a week ago, but something popped up for both of us and we couldn't make it. So we set up a date for today. I asked him if meeting up at 8 was acceptable, and he said yes. I'm 100% sure I can make it. So we agreed to meet at 8 at this one spot. So I texted him an hour before to let him know that I was ready and I'll head out soon. I never heard back. Okay, that's when you should have stayed at home. I arrived at the place a little early because I feel bad if people wait long for me, but he wasn't there. So at 7:58, I received a text that he'll be a few minutes late, which was fine to me. I waited. At 8:25, I received another text that he's 20 minutes away. I was baffled. I was mostly upset because it was cold outside and our area is known for having creeps in it, and I was entirely alone waiting in high heels. So I texted him, wow, okay, I'm going home. I get home and he's calling me and telling me that he's there and I should go back. I'm sorry, but it was cold and I waited long enough. So I told him he can head home because I'm not going back in this cold ass weather. I also told him we could have agreed on 9 p.m. You should have just informed me on time when you said 8 suits you most and didn't text me till I was almost there. He told me that if he does go home, we'll never see each other again and that I should be ashamed for throwing all this away for just a 30-minute wait. I said to him, that's fine. If he can't keep his word, I'm fine with not dating him. After his reply, I feel like I've ruined it. Should I have gone back? But at the same time, I feel like he disrespected me. Girl, no, you did exactly the right thing and you should have left earlier. Okay, I mean, I know you got there early, so we can't really fault him with that 15 minutes that you waited in advance because that was on you for getting there like hella early and ridiculous. Okay, but he calling you after 8 talking about I'm 20 minutes away, and then you know you wait till 8:25 and I'm like no. See, for me you get 10 minutes. So by 8:10 when he wasn't there, I would have just left with no texting, no conversation about it, no notice about it. I'm just gone. I'm like a restaurant. Okay, 10 minutes you lose your reservation, and 10 minutes that reservation is my time. It's over. Boop, deuces, I'm gone. So you did well to tell him that, and he's like, you know, well, you should go back, and you're gonna lose out on this. Ain't nobody missing nobody who can't even show up the fuck on time. I bet you don't do that when you're at your job, do you? So why you think that I should tolerate that kind of ridiculous behavior? You knew what time the date was, and you chose to be late 30, 40 minutes. That's on you. But I don't have time for some clown that disrespects my time like that. So fuck you very much. And goodbye, good luck, and good riddance. And there you go. So no, you did perfectly well. I'm very proud of you. You handled that excellently. Right, Sliver? Did she do that well? I thought so. Question number 10, she's 18 to 21. And she says, I'm tired of being touched by my boyfriend. He's 21 all the time. Ooh, girl, I understand. Oh my God. Okay, just as an aside, when my daughter was born, and you got to, I was not ready. I was not ready for all the touching that you have to do. It's like they never stop fucking touching you. They're touching your face. They're touching your arm. They touch, they want to touch the boob because they want some milk. And so then here they go. You got to touch them to change the diaper. You got to pick them up. You got to put them down. You got to change their clothes. I mean, bathe. You're constantly touching this kid. Okay, now I understand that, the babies thrive on touching and this and that. I was dying on the vine. And my poor husband. Okay, so he come in and he want a hug. Don't touch me! I would scream. Don't touch me. I'm touched the fuck out. Don't touch me. And he could never, poor thing, he could not understand what I was talking about. It's like, what do you mean? I just want a hug. No, don't touch me. I can't stand it. I don't want nothing touching me. It's like I don't even want any clothes on because the clothes was touching me. I was seriously tripping. For it was a couple of months. I was just like, I don't know who I turned into, but it wasn't me. And just turned into a fool. And then after that I got over it, but them was some rough months. I'm telling you, just the thought of somebody touching me just made me just want to run up and down the street screaming. It was awful. So I know it's just what you talking about. So she says, this sounds really harsh before I continue, but let me preface it by saying I'm not being touched, and if it's in a sweet and affectionate way. However, I don't get that. Every waking moment of my life when we are together, my ass is being grabbed. He's cupping my boobs. I don't get sweet pet kisses. I get full-on makeout sessions. And I'm so tired of being... so when I do get the sweet affectionate touches, it always turns into something more. The other night we were making out and I stopped to kiss his nose. He got frustrated. I dread going to bed with him at night because as soon as I get into bed, okay, he's, doing so much. She says, I'm so exhausted. We used to have nook all the time, but now we don't because of this. And I've explained that before I met him. I never really liked people touching me, and it's always been awkward about it. I began to appreciate his softness and how sweet he was about showing me affection when we first got together. But 4 years in, and now it's all the time. I just blew up on him in the shower because I'm sick of not having any space. Every time I mention this, he just says, okay, then goes silent. I don't know what to do. I love being with him and around him, but he just doesn't get that I don't want to be touched 24/7. I'm so tired of finding creative ways to avoid it without hurting his feelings. Breaking up is not an option. Well, then shut the fuck up then and just deal with it. What you writing to bother my nerves with this bullshit for? You see he's not going to change. It's 4 years in. It's the same bullshit. But yet you don't want to break up with him. So then fuck you. Let me just move on to somebody else. Question number 11. Does it seem harder for very fit, lean, muscular women as compared to someone chubby or less in shape to date? I'm speaking from personal experience as guys seem to admire my body, my drive, and my motivation, but are less inclined to want to date me if they are insecure with their own bodies. I find it was easier dating when I was chubbier. Yeah, you know why? I can tell you why. I'm going to tell you from the trainer perspective exactly why this is. Okay, you feel like, well, I'm very lean, and I'm fit, and I'm muscular. I want you to understand that your body, when you in bed, feels like he's laying up against another man. Now, you might not see it that way because you feel like, well, I have boobs and, this and that, and I have this and that. But, if you look at how many, okay, like if you just go into a gym and you just look at the dudes, especially the gay guys, they be fit and fine, okay? And they're very lean and they low body fat, cut and all this old stuff here. And so you got a similar body to them, right? There's no softness on you. There's no curve. There's no cush. So you feeling like, people don't want to date you. They don't because they feel like, oh my God, I'm going to get in bed with her. I'm going to feel like I'm in bed with another dude. And so you don't see that. That's why a lot of men, it's quiet as it's kept, because they don't really like to talk about it that much because other guys rib them about it. A lot of guys like women with a few extra pounds on them. In the Black community, it's called being thick. I think the Latino men call it that too. But, they like a woman with some hips, with some thighs, Not with that gap in between and them twig bony legs like white girls like to have. They not trying to look at that. They like women with some thighs that when she puts on some shorts, the shorts are tight on her thighs and is hugging them hips. And she walks by with some high heels on and stuff, and they be like, all the dudes be like this because it looks womanly. It looks sexy. It looks attractive. Right? It's more cushion for the pushing. Now, I'm telling you all this. These are things I've heard men say. So, I'm not telling you that you can't be very fit and lean and muscular if you want to. Do what what makes you happy. But there's a trade-off for everything, just like women who are too big. There's a trade-off for that too, because, a lot of men don't want that either. But, you looking at, these women, like they have such low body fat, like up in here where their chest stuff is, there's no fat. So it's just like bones sticking out. They see veins and shit in their arms. It's not cute, but I don't know, they think it looks, yeah, they call them chubby chasers, but those are women who are a little bit bigger. They tend to be like, I don't know, rounder. Sometimes they call them plump, pleasingly plump, something like that. But I like the size I am. I'm just like right in the middle. I got some muscles and stuff. Put on my tank tops. I can flex, but you never gonna see me looking all sinewy and muscular and I don't like that look. I don't like, even when I was a trainer, I didn't want to look like that. I made sure I ate, so I kept a certain level of body fat. Because I wanted to look cute in my clothes. I wanted to have like cleavage. I wanted to have, some hips. It was important to me to have when I look, no matter how much weight I lost or how much weight I could lift, I still want to have a certain image when I looked in the mirror. And so I made sure that happened. So you've gone to the other extreme. So, it's a trade-off. You just got to decide which one means more to you. I can't tell you the answer to that. But those are the answers that I'm, telling you. A lot of men, the trainers, everybody, they talk about that in the gym. They're not really into the women that look like that. So you think about it and make your decision accordingly. Question number 12, she's in the 22 to 27 age group, asking, am I too shallow for seeing these as red flags? I recently ended dating with a guy who's 31 before getting into an exclusive, serious relationship with him for these reasons, : he still lives with his parents. He doesn't have a strong career goal. His income is low too, but this doesn't matter as long as you have a strong goal. He doesn't do chores. I've been to his room. It's very nasty. His car too. He smokes the herbalicious regularly. He doesn't work out or take care of his health. He didn't go to college. He was doing poorly in high school. Again, if you do have a career goal or talents, then those things may not matter. He doesn't have any savings. I guess the thing is that he's in his 30s and having these values just icked me a lot. I'm at a point in life where I do not wish to be in a serious relationship if I don't see a future with the other person. He does have great values too, like being honest, sweet, straightforward, and caring, and willing to try, etc. But the red flags overstep all the good values. Am I too shallow for some of these reasons as seen as red flags? No, at all. You're smart. I love it. Do you realize that if the young ladies that wrote this column were as sensible as you about determining a man's rightness for them right off the bat, how few letters I would have to do every week? I applaud you. Please keep that good common sense working. Okay, maybe the rest of them could take a lesson. Well, because, she's young and she's, people are going to tell him, oh, you know how the other dudes do. Oh, she should, you should give him a chance. You could work with a brother. You could work together. You could be a team. You can build together. You know how people do when they try to want to use a woman's resources and time and energy. They don't want her to expect to have somebody who's ready to hit the ground running on her level. So they're going to talk about her. They're going to say, oh, you're too picky. Your standards are too high. Something wrong with you. What man do you think is going to be like that? That's what's wrong with you women. You always want somebody who's perfect. You're not perfect. This is the same drag and drama. But luckily, she's not paying attention to that. And, she's talking about he's honest and sweet and straightforward. Who gives a shit when he broke and stupid and uneducated? I mean, he could afford to be honest and straightforward when he don't have shit, ain't about shit, and ain't gonna do shit, and ain't gonna have nothing. So, I mean, I don't understand what a lot of women would get caught up in that because they'll be like, oh, well, he's cute. And then he could probably lay that pipe, and the next thing you know, they giving him all their money and just moving him in and just getting pregnant by him, and they're struggling and embarking on that struggle love train and all this old stuff here. But you deuced out. Good for you. Question number 13. It's from a young man. How old is this little clown? 22 to 27. She accepted to go on a date but wants zero contact till that day. What does that mean? So I met this girl on a swipey thing. I will leave the name out. We have been talking for a few months, and we're going to meet in a couple of months. We live in different countries. First, we planned a few months ago to date, but for some reason I couldn't, and she got upset and didn't want to talk again. Then everything got better, and finally we planned the place and date already. But she said that we should have zero contact till the date. Zero messages, zero calls. What does that mean? Why would you date someone you no longer have contact with? Please, I need an advice and an explanation. No, just tell her that you don't want to do that. See, this is the thing about it. This is the thing that I think a lot of you young people don't really understand. Just because you meet somebody and they say what they want, whether it's good or bad, doesn't mean that you have to agree with it. There's no law saying that. You haven't signed any kind of contract with them. So she's like, well, I don't want to have any contact. Well, you say, well, that's fine. You don't have to, but I'm not going to be wasting my time trying to plan a date with your ass either. So, I mean, you can want that. I want somebody who I do talk to. So that just shows right there and that we on opposite sides of the plane here. And so, yeah, let's just stop talking. Since you don't want to talk anyway, let's just make it formal. And that's all you had to say to her. She's trying to play games. See, she's thinking that she's going to build interest and that you're going to go crazy for her and all this old shit here. Don't fall for that kind of stuff. Don't do that. Just tell her no. That's not what I'm interested in, and I'm not doing that. You're doing that shit by your damn self. And then you just deuce out. I mean, it's not hard. Question number 14. This is a young lady in 22 to 27 age group. And the guy is in the 28 to 34 age group, and she says, my old coworker keeps texting me, and I'm very uncomfortable. Okay, and you don't know how to block a motherfucker? What is it with these girls that they don't use the block feature? You know how many people I have on my block feature, my block button? My Facebook is just, I don't know, thousands of people blocked over the years. So let's see what she's talking about. I'm truly very weirded out and uncomfortable. This guy doesn't work at my workplace anymore. He was always a bit strange and unpredictable, but now he keeps texting me randomly every month, literally religiously. I never reply, and I think it will stop, but randomly 1 month later, he texts me again. I blocked him today, but I'm also a bit worried about that. What if he doesn't take that well? He knows where I live exactly and all my info, you know? Somehow I have a very bad gut feeling, and I can't stop thinking about it. Why does he know where you live? And he's a former coworker. Why is that? You know, I worked at a place one time, and they had this employee. Oh, this was a long time ago, like in the 90s. And they had this employee, like directory thing, right? And so, you know, I had just started working there, right? So then they said, oh, we're going to add you to the employee directory. I said, well, what does that mean? Oh, you know, it has everybody's name and birth date, you know, your birthday and your address and phone number. I said, no, you're not going to add me to that. And they're like, why? Everybody said, I'm just thinking because everybody up in here is a stupid fool, but that don't mean I'm one. I said, okay, so you have all these single women working here and all these people's home addresses and phone numbers and birthday, because this is, you know, before identity theft became a really big deal, right? You're talking, you know, mid to early 90s. And I said, so you just putting all these women's, you know, information out, and you don't really know who's going to do what with this information that you handed out. Well, it's just for employees. I said, but you can guarantee that that's the only people who's going to see it. And what about when employees leave? What if one of them gets fired? What if him does some really weird stalkerish kind of thing and gets terminated? What then? And they have all this information about all the female employees. And they just looked at me. And they were like, well, we didn't think about all that. I was like, I know you didn't. That's why you're not putting my name in there. And so you know what they did? They stopped publishing it. This was a law firm too. And I'm like, God, how stupid can people be? I mean, like, as soon as they said that, I'm glad I asked, you know what I mean? They're like, we were public director, the employee director. I'm like, well, what is that? What employee directory? What you talking about? Because see, I'm of the mind that the only people that should have that information is payroll, HR, right? So they can mail me my check, mail me my W-2s, mail me my bonuses, and send me my benefit statements. Other than that, you don't need to know where I live. So I'm trying to figure out how this man knows where you live. What did you do? Those of you listening to this, guard your address religiously and your personal phone number. I keep telling you girls, get you a Google phone number, some kind of phone number. Some people use WhatsApp, whatever. Churches, they have those too. Well, you know, I don't go nowhere near a church, so that's not likely to happen. But yeah, I mean, you know, there's no reason why you have to get you one of them mailboxes, etc. kind of addresses. It's a street address, but you don't show as hell don't live there. It costs money, but guess what? So what? 2 or 3 of y'all could split the fee, and all y'all, 4 or 5 of you, your female friends, y'all get your mail there. That absorbs it, that cuts the cost. All y'all put your name on there, and y'all get your mail there. That's the address you're gonna use on those kind of things, because then nobody's home address is linked to nothing. Think, ladies, think. You got to plan for your safety. You never know, and you don't be bringing every clown that you meet on a swipey thing all up in your house, and neither do you go to his. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, I don't mess around with them directories. They had this thing that they were like, oh, we have a birthday list. I said, don't put me on it. Well, don't you want people to know when is your birthday? I said, nope, I sure don't. Just lying. Like, I don't even celebrate my birthday. You know I was lying. Because for me, my birthday is like a national fucking holiday. When I was young, I celebrated from August 1st through 31st. I had a month celebration. But now it's like if I could make it for a week, it's a fucking miracle. But it's like, everybody up in here don't need to know that. What they need to know that for? So I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I just have I don't like a whole bunch of weird people that I don't know having all that personal information about me. Question number 15. This is a what would you do question. So I'm falling hard for my guy friend who has a girlfriend. He never told me he has one. I found out through Facebook. We text almost every day. We go out for dinner and we spend a lot of time alone. It's hard to not start being interested in him. I know I'll be heartbroken in the end. It goes both ways. If I continue being his friend, I'll just continue to fall for him. But if I cut off all contact, it will hurt because I love him as a friend too, and he would want to know why I can't hang out with him anymore. So what would you suggest I do? Pretend that everything is fine or just cut it? Well, I mean, my thing is, once you knew that he had a girlfriend, I'm wondering what it is that you thought was going to happen, why you kept hanging out with him like that. It's like you're dating him, but unofficially with no title and no commitment and no real declaration, but you're spending all this time with a man who allegedly has another woman. You're like making some really piss poor decisions here, chick. So for your best interest, for your own best interest, the smart thing for you to do would be to cut this off and start spending time with a guy who's open and willing and available and emotionally available to you, to be with you, if that's what you both decide to do. This guy, even if you decided, you wouldn't be nothing other than a side piece. Is that what you want? Question number 16. She's 20, the 18 to 21 age group. The boyfriend is 23. Says, my boyfriend struggles to follow basic instructions. So today, after the first day, today was the first day that me and my boyfriend, he's 23 and I'm 20, both went to work since moving into our new apartment. I lived with him for over a year at his parents' place prior to this move. Now, this all happened in one day, Deb. This morning, I forgot to bring my lunch to work. He drives past my work on his way to his job, so I asked him if he could just drop it off. He only drops off one part of it, despite me typing exactly what was in my lunch, and it was all being set on top of the counter in the fridge. When he leaves, he forgets to pick up laundry he left at his mom's the third day in a row. I end up grabbing it for him after work. I also grabbed some nice bread for my lovely soup that I'm looking forward to. When he gets home, he prepares the soup in the slow cooker, which we shop for ingredients for together. I made this soup with him or in front of him multiple times. I told him exactly what ingredients to put in it and where to find a similar recipe if he needed help, but he forgot to add carrots, used the wrong onions, used all of the coconut milk carton I bought for my coffee, misread the tin of cooking coconut milk, and didn't add the right seasonings. So when I got home, I tried the soup and it tastes like shit. I then noticed that he hadn't done any laundry, had walked through our no shoes home with mud on his shoes, and he had not vacuumed. He didn't open any blinds, and my plants had been moved back onto the windowsill, so they're all drooping. This is the one that assists to move them overnight so we can shut the blinds. I had to trust him to do this shit because I was at work all day. He works half a day in the evening. I was so fucking angry I just cried. I texted him saying I'm really pissed off and I don't understand what is wrong with him. Obviously, this isn't the first time this happened. He's fucked up so many other things during this move after being given clear instructions on what to do. I always feel like I can't rely on him to get anything right, and I just feel anxiety when I have to rely on him to do things around the house. I know I sent him a horrible message. He hasn't responded or come home yet. Am I too particular about things, or are these feelings valid? No, they're quite valid, and your boyfriend's a fuck up. Now, the problem is what you going to do about it. And y'all just moved in. If I were you, I'd be moving right back the fuck out. You know, evidently living there with his parents mitigated the impact because his mother would step in and handle things so that you didn't really notice how much he was falling off, falling down and not really stepping up the way he was supposed to. So you didn't really get to see that side of him clearly. But now there's just the two of you and nobody in there to run interference and, fill in the blanks for him. You're getting to see how useless he is. Is this what you want? It wouldn't work for me. I have to have a man that I can depend on implicitly. I mean, I need you, if you tell me that you're going to do something, I should be able to go to the bank and get a loan based on the fact that you made this representation because I know that you're going to come through. That's how dependable you are. That's how 100 you are. If I can't depend on you like that, then I have no need for you in my life. So you have some thinking to do, young lady. This young lady in the 22 to 27 age group and has a female friend in the 20 to 34 age group. Summary of issue: dealing with an openly jealous friend. I'm not sure how else to deal with her. What would you do if your friend admitted that they were jealous of you? A bit of background: I have been friends with this chick for about a year and a half. We have gotten very close, and I sincerely think that she has my best interest in mind and cares about me. But since the beginning of the friendship, I have noticed that she has copied a lot of my outfits and has bought a lot of the same clothes that I own, which is not a big deal, I guess. She also started going to the same same nail salon, hair salon. She even dyed her hair the same color. She goes to the same personal trainer and the same gym after I told her that's where I went. Again, that part's not so weird, but what is weird is that she has started copying my major life decisions as well. The first red flag, when I told her I wanted to move to a new city, she steadily started going around telling everyone that she wanted to move to the same city that I was planning on moving to. She's also going to go to the same plastic surgeon I went to 3 years ago to get the same BBL/lipo 360 procedure. A few weeks ago, I told her I had gotten back with my ex. The next week, she literally told me, after I saw you get back with your ex, I started to think about what I want in my life, and I decided to start talking to my ex again, too. I'm so confused, and I want to think that these are all just coincidences. She has always complimented my sense of style and has been a great friend to me. I have felt like our friendship has always been a sisterly kind of love, But last week, she openly admitted to me that she's jealous of me because she doesn't let it get in the way of our friendship because she is, quote, happy with her life. I guess I would like some advice on this. I'm not sure if having a friend who's openly jealous of me is a good idea or not. First thing that you need to understand, young lady with a big fucking mouth, is you need to stop talking so much. You talk too much. Okay, by the time you told her the first thing and you saw that she was copying you, that's when you should have shut down or started lying. Like you talking about, I'm thinking about moving. You say, I'm moving to San Francisco. I'm thinking about moving to San Francisco. I'm moving to Los Angeles. I'm moving wherever. And then she don't need to know where you moving to. By the time you actually move, right? Then when you get there, she's gonna say, "Oh, did you move? You know, how did you? Oh, yeah, well, I decided not to go there. I moved somewhere else." Do you have to tell her where you moved? No. Did you have to tell her that you got a BBL/lipo and where you went to get it? Did you have to tell her the name of your personal trainer? Why don't you just tell her the name of any personal trainer that was in there? Why did you have to tell her, the mall that you go to? Why not just say, oh, I order my stuff online? I don't remember where I got it from. It was an ad on Instagram. I just clicked it. I don't remember. I'm not really understanding you and what it is that you think you're going to get by telling somebody that you see sucks in every bit of your life essence, more information about yourself. It's like you just stupid. I just don't even know. What do you think you're doing? Did you ever stop and just consider that you're making stupid choices and doing stupid things and talking too fucking much? Right? I mean, is it me, y'all? I'm like, by the time shit happened the first time, that should have been enough. That should have been her clue to shut down and stop telling this cow stuff. But oh no, she double down and just keep on doing it. And telling the woman all her plans and all this old stuff here. She wouldn't know nothing. So I don't, you want to know, is it worth it? I can't answer that for you. Because there's something you obviously want from this relationship, which is why you keep telling her stuff. I don't understand what it is. So I'm posing all these questions to you so that you can figure that out. Okay. Question number 18. This is a young woman in the 22 to 27 age group. Boyfriend 22 to 27 also. Summary issue. I feel hopeless about leaving a bad relationship, partly due to my mental illness. Okay. How do I leave my boyfriend of 4 years? Okay, why would you, at 24 years old, date somebody for 4 years? My relationship isn't serving me well, but I physically cannot fathom the idea of leaving my boyfriend. I tried breaking up with him a year and a half ago, and it only lasted 3 months before I felt so mentally and physically ill that I went back. As soon as we broke no contact, I felt like I could breathe again for the first time. I have been in therapy that entire period to no avail. You need a new therapist. I have severe but medicated depression and anxiety and cope really well with it almost always. But the idea of leaving him makes my sense of meaning and my identity become suddenly non-existent. This sounds incredibly dramatic, and I will laugh at myself about it as much as the next person, but when I really examine myself, it's how I feel. I have a degree in psychology, and loathe the fact that I objectively know how unhealthy my attachment is, but I feel like I'd rather die than give it up. I have a dream yesterday that my boyfriend cheated on me, and I begged him to stay with me. It's even more frustrating because I'm relatively successful in my career and have an amazing group of friends, but this is the one thing I feel I cannot overcome. I feel so hopeless. I stay with my boyfriend and remain happy, regretful, and self-loathing. I love my boyfriend and genuinely might not make it. Even though I logically know I should leave, I feel physically that I even feel ill even thinking about it. How do you navigate a breakup when you have mental illness? I don't know. I do not know the answer to that question. You know why I don't know the answer to that question? Because I don't fuck around with people who got mental illness. Can't do it. Refuse to do it. Not trying to do it. Don't care to do it. Don't even want to hear about it. I have no, and like all the therapists in the world, right? and you going to one, and you know you went to this whole one for the entire period of no avail. It never occurred to you to switch therapists and find a better one. That thought never crossed your mind. You sitting up there spending money going week after week to somebody that's not helping you, and yet you continue to go. See, it makes me wonder, not only are you mentally ill, you're crazy. Like Betsy Bug crazy. To think that you should continue like throwing good time and good money after bad. The sunk cost fallacy for you is at play here. You feel like because you put all this time and energy into this relationship with this clown and this loser that you should continue to do so. If you feel like you're going to die if you're not in this situation that causes you to feel, what did you say? You feel, like you have no sense of meaning, unhappy, regretful, and self-loathing. And yet that's a relationship that you choose to stay in. Have you ever talked about that with your therapist? That's where you should start. What do you guys talk about? Because this right here is very revealing, and it is a clue into your deep inner fuck up. Okay? There's something seriously wrong with you, and you need a good, qualified mental health counselor to help you fix this problem. Because what you're doing now is not helping. Yeah, definitely no boyfriend. But my thing, I got to fault him too, because he got away from the crazy Betsy Bug broad and then let her come back. So you know what I mean? There's something wrong with him too. It's not just her. Question number 20, 28 to 34 age group male. Talking about another male in the 22 to 27 age group. Okay. So he says, my coworker of 2.5 years smells awful, but he keeps asking for rides to after work hangouts. Oh, he worked with somebody who funky. I work with people from many different cultures, and many of them don't have cars when they move to the United States. So I tend to drive people around when we all get together. We are a tight-knit group with healthy work friendships. One coworker of mine is a nice person, but not socially aware of himself. He smells awful to the point that his office stinks for hours after he leaves. While the smell doesn't affect my friendship with him, I'm in an awkward situation. I'm planning a large after-work gathering tomorrow, and he asked me for a ride. He's the first person to ask me, but the last time he rode in my car, I had to air it out for an hour. He struggles with English and is a decent person, so I don't want to exclude him. Do I bring the smell up to him? How do I do so? You tell him, I don't know what, okay, he said he struggles with English. What language does he smell? I mean, what language does he speak? You can go into Google Translate, right? You go into Google Translate, and it says English, and you type it in there, and then you push the little button, the little drop-down list to what language you want it to translate into. And what you're going to do is you're going to write him a note to say, I will be happy to give you a ride, but you need to bathe. You stink. And I can't have that smell in my car. It's offensive by U.S. hygiene standards. Okay, then it's going to translate into whatever language he speaks. Then you're going to copy and paste it into a Word document. Then you're going to print it out and you're going to give it to him. And then he's going to be sitting there. He's going to look embarrassed. And then you're going to give him a towel. You're going to give him some soap. And you're going to give him some deodorant and a little gift basket thing. And it's going to be manly smelling stuff. And you're going to go and send him into the bathroom to use them. That's what you're going to do. How do I know this? I had to do the same thing to this girl that I worked with one time. That bitch was funky as hell. I don't understand what in the world was going on with her. It's like she did not think about deodorant. I don't know what was happening. And when her cycle was on, it was like, oh my God, hell, just hell for your nose. So, I just couldn't take it anymore. So one day I went around to some of the other ladies. I said, I'm getting together. I said, give me some money. So I went over to this place called, it's not Victoria's Secret. It starts with an E. Something, E and something. But anyway, they used to sell scents and stuff like that, like these old-fashioned looking kind of place. And I went over there and I got the lady to put together this basket of stuff. And then it had like a scrubby and, the body lotion and the shower gel and, all the stuff, right? And then I got it and then I went and I put it on her chair. And so she came back from work with that funk after lunch and she saw it there and she came in where I was, my little office, and she's like, someone left this on my desk. I didn't have the nerve. I was young then, not as savage as I am now, because I would say that was me because your ass is funky. But, I was young then, so I was probably about 21. And I didn't say anything. I just said, oh, really? I said, so what you going to do? Well, I guess I'll use it. So she used it after that. And then she actually went and got her hair done. I mean, it like started the thing. She got her hair done. And so she actually looked cute and she smelled nice. Thank you. That's it. Crabtree and Evelyn. Thank you. Because I could not remember the name of that shit. But yeah, it used to be at Embarcadero Center in San Francisco. And that's where I went. And she got her all the smell good juice. But yeah, so dude, in other words, that's what you got to do. I mean, you're going to have to spend a little bit of money. But, you got to also realize if someone's a recent immigrant, they not only may have different kinds of hygiene things that, just different. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, just different. But, he may not seriously have the money, the luxury to afford those kinds of things, in which case this would be a very nice gift that he might really appreciate. Even if he don't appreciate, tell him he got to use it anyway if he want to ride in your car because he's killing your nose. The end. I thought it was nice of me too. I made the other ladies, a bunch of other people contribute too. $2, $3. I put it all together and I got what I could afford with the money and put a little. They give you this little free basket and whatnot if you spend a certain amount of money. And I politely put that shit on her chair, like, you funky hoe. Please use me. Use me was the note. Oof, just nasty. I just can't believe it. Who want to walk around smelling like that? Let's move on to question number 21 of 24 questions tonight. So this young lady's in the 22 to 27, same age group as the boyfriend. She says, my boyfriend is asking me to be quiet / more reserved in public settings and more submissive. Oh, he is. And you ain't cussed him out yet? I've run into a bit of a dilemma that's making me really rethink whether or not I'm be my boyfriend of almost 2 years. For the past year, we've been fighting constantly. My boyfriend is extroverted. He's getting his MBA, so he's actively trying to grow his network. I'm an introvert and shy person, but I work in a very busy, talkative industry, so I'm getting used to talking a bit more and engaging when I'm out in public. I am planning on building a career in the field I'm working in, so it's really important for me to learn how to hold my own in conversations, etc. as part of this. I've also been trying to smile more and ask questions. Additionally, I'm a first-generation immigrant and the oldest in my family, just like my boyfriend. So I've grown really independent and just used to doing things on my own. I don't party. I don't go clubbing. All my closest friends are women who are in long-term relationships and also do not party or go clubbing. The relevance of this is talked about a bit later below. Well, you better hurry up because you wrote too much. We're going to skim this shit. What kind of book is this you wrote? Okay, so let's see. Her boyfriend asked me if we are to continue the relationship, he needs me to 1, take his lead everywhere, and number 2, be reserved or fully quiet when he takes me out somewhere because he needs to make the best impression on people, and the people he meets are going to be in his network moving forward. And 3, in general, be submissive. Okay. Please note that he gave me this list with a question of whether or not I can comply. These are deal breakers for him. Well, you were supposed to give him that back and say, absolutely, we're breaking up on the spot. Goodbye, good luck, and good motherfucking riddance. That's what you were supposed to say. But you stupid. So here you are talking about technically I don't mind these things, but I heavily dislike the tone. No, you mind them. Because first of all, it's like you talking about being with somebody and this is going to be your career choice. How are you going to be a career person if you never say nothing and just sitting there looking like a bump on the log? Like you have no education and no intelligence and no voice. That's what he's asking you to do so that he can look like the big shot and you just look like stupid. Okay, so she says, here's an example, one where I admit I might have been in the wrong. I met his friends at a house party, and the group was talking about this one sketch bar. Specifically, rather, folks were sharing their bad experiences with some stories about guys groping women, etc. I've only gone to this bar once years ago, and I had a terrible experience with one guy coming up to me and trying to bite my neck. So I shared this in a nonchalant way, like, yeah, the only time I've been in there, I almost got bitten by some random dude. I left immediately after. My boyfriend was mortified. He spent an entire hour explaining to me that my comment was extremely inappropriate and that his friends are going to think I'm someone who bar hops all the time, and that I honestly should have just been quiet because he doesn't even trust these people, doesn't know what they're going to say behind his back with him. What the fuck was he out with him for? And you should have asked him that. Okay, so they fighting about that. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Additionally, any happy hour invite with any female friends is met with those are single people places. No girlfriend of mine is going to that. Any pushback from me that these are my close friends, etc., all mature women has been met with, I don't care what they do, I'm dating you. Okay, and you still with him. Recently, I didn't meet him for dinner because I had prior commitments. I was meeting with a friend who was going through a breakup. We were already arguing about other things, so I simply texted him that I couldn't meet him that night. It was on Friday, and that I'll let him know what my plans are for the weekend. He called me a garden tool and said that this is garden tool behavior. I wrote a whole essay on how I'm never submissive and make a fool of him in public. How does one go about this relationship? He is really caring in other ways, and he's helped me a ton, but I'm starting to feel a bit suffocated. Oh, dump this fool. I'm trying to figure out what it is that you think you're going to get from a man with this mentality. First of all the other controlling things, okay, but with that aside, let's talk about a man that's supposed to love and respect you calling you a hoe. Where they do that at? And what woman is stupid enough and whose self-esteem is in the garbage can enough to let a man talk to her like that, and she stays with him, sleeps with him, holds his hand, calls herself loving him, has conversation with him, like giving him benefits and perks and stuff. Who does that? You have no standards for yourself at all. In spite of the fact that you're sitting up there talking about, well, I'm going to be a career woman, this and that. The main thing you need to do right now is figure out why you're so stupid and desperate for a man. What it is that you feel like why you have to take being treated like you are a dog on a leash and called names and commanded around like a child by this man, an adult male that you're supposed to be a peer with, supposed to be your partner. Why do you think that that is appropriate, responsible, and loving behavior that you should take? You really need to think about that, because see, for me, by the time he started telling me, well, I need to shut up and this and that, I would have went to the very next event and acted a complete fool, and then stood up and told him to kiss the inside of my ass. I don't give a fuck about his submission. He could take his submission and shove it up his ass. And then I would have went, told all his friends, and if you deal with him, you're an idiot too. And then walk the fuck off like, boop. Because there's just no reason. I would never feel like I should take anything like that. And he's going to call you names like that? And you just going to let him? I don't know what the hell he think he is, but he would have sure got told. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. You need to think about this. I can't make this decision for you because you've taken way more already than I would ever think made any sense. Let me put up my thing again. We are on this channel sponsoring a webinar for women just like this one to learn how to say no, to place boundaries, to make yourself, to have some pride about yourself, how you conduct yourself, the way that you let people talk to you, the way that you let people treat you. These girls that write to this advice column are so fucking lost. It just disturbs me to no end. The stuff that they take, the way they let men treat them, the way they let men talk to them, the stuff that they put up with on their jobs, in their families, mostly in their relationships, in their friendships. It's like, what the hell is going on with young women these days that you guys have absolutely no sense of respect for yourselves? You don't respect yourself, so of course you don't demand that other people do it. Please register for this seminar. Please. I can't take it anymore. I made the price as low as possible. I have to, reimburse myself for some of the hours and hours and hours I'm going to be spending putting this all together. So it can't be free. But and also those of you who are on YouTube who think it's not going to run on YouTube, you're not going to see it. Either you there and it's live, or you just miss it, because it's not going to be on the channel. It's not going to be restored anywhere. If you're not there in place in person, then you just won't see it. So you can scan that QR code. Oops. You can scan the QR code, or let's see. Hold on a second. I'm doing too many things at one time. There is the little abbreviated link. You can just click that too. And that'll take you to the page where you can get some more information about it and, sign yourself up. You got to go into 2024 with some better boundaries and some better strength and self-respect. We cannot, this can't continue. I can't take it anymore. It's driving me crazy. So let's move on. Question number 22 of 24 questions tonight. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group, young man, same age group. The girlfriend said that I was guilt tripping her when I thought that she was paying for food. I live with my partner, and I started noticing that things don't really seem equal. By that I mean I seem to do a lot more for her than I get back. An example of this was last week. I had planned to order us some food since we hadn't ordered out for a while. I told my partner this, and we ordered pizzas. This came to around 35 pounds, which I was happy to pay. A couple of days later, my girlfriend said she liked ordering some McDonald's and asked if I wanted anything. I asked for a burger and fries. Straight away, my girlfriend told me how much it was and asked me to transfer her the money. At first, I thought she was joking, but she said she was serious. I told her I thought she was paying and was doing something nice since I paid for food a few days ago. She accused me of guilt tripping her into paying for the food. I told her it's not guilt tripping, and I'm just pointing out that it's upsetting knowing that I'm happy to do something nice for her without a second thought. But she won't even consider spending £5 on me, food for me. She again said I was guilt tripping her, and I just repeated that it's not guilt tripping, and if she's feeling bad because of what I said, then it means she knows I'm right. She said she wasn't ordering food anymore since I have started an argument over nothing. I told her I didn't start the argument. I just told her how I felt, and she got annoyed at being called out on it. She said that I was being unfair and that I shouldn't have expected her to pay for the food. How would you handle this? I would have said, okay, don't give me nothing. And then I would have went and I would have ordered myself some fabulous dinner, fuck McDonald's. I mean, something good, right? And then when my food come and she's sitting up there eating her Happy Meal, then I would have been grubbing on my regular food. And she would have wanted some. And I would have said, nope, nope, nope. Because if you want some, I'm going to make you send me, the money for it. And then in the future, if you ever order food, don't include food for her. Order for yourself. And then tell her, you better get on there and order something for yourself because I'm not paying for you anymore. And that's how that would go down. She would never get a dime out of me, ever again. Nothing. I wouldn't buy her ass a bubble gum. And so, see, when people act like that kind of petty, you have to go 10 levels deeper into Pettyville. And so, yeah, she wouldn't get anything. If she came to my house and just said, you better bring your own toilet tissue too, because you ain't using mine. You ain't using my toothpaste. You ain't using my soap. You're not using nothing, none of my resources. If you do, I'm going to give you a bill. See, I would go to that level, so I would want to make a point to her ass that she doing too much. It's okay for her to spend your money. She sit up there grubbing. But as soon as $5 for some McDonald's, because McDonald's compared to pizza is not that expensive. Pizza, man, you get some good pizza, that'd be like $50. Because, I have to get the cauliflower crust and the pesto. So, I have to have bougie pizza. I just can't have like Domino's or Straw Hat or something. I have to have bougie pizza. And so, with fresh basil and stuff on it, that's how I do it. And so I'm spending $50. I'm like, shit, fuck this pizza. $50. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't want no pizza. Yeah, well, that's going to happen. But see, you got to understand. DJ. When you are the petty empress of the planet, of the universe, really, you don't just break up. No. We must first exert all of our petty energy into making that person know that they are being pettified. right? We have to do that. We can't just leave, because when you just leave, that ends it, right? No, no, no. The chapters of pettiness must continue until I get tired. And believe me, that's going to take a long time, because I would be wearing her ass out. It's like she come in the door. Oh, where's your toilet tissue? Because you know you thinking you're going to be using, oh, no, no, no. You're not using none of mine. I'll let you use some of the water when you flush the toilet and stuff like that. But other than that, you need to have bring your own soap, your own toothpaste, your own toothbrush, your own towels, everything. You bring all your own stuff. Yes, I'm trying to tell y'all, you don't understand. When we're going into Pettyville, we go fully equipped. We got a backpack on, and we got the roller luggage, the roller luggage with the 4-way wheels, so we can just navigate easily with all the pettiness that we're going to be just lobbing at people. That's how we going to do this. Yeah, dude, you nice, because, ooh, I would be wearing her out. Question number 23. She's in the 22 to 27 age group, and her summary of issue is after 4 months, whatever that means. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 4 months. We just realized that he's a fearful, avoidant, and I'm an anxious attachment. I want to see him at least 3 times a week, like at night or afternoon and weekends, but I don't know what is too much to see for a fearful, avoidant weak. I don't want to be too clingy and make him run because it feels like it's too much. Then just get a different boyfriend. Shit. Fuck it. What is all of this? What is all of this? He's telling you he's a fearful boy. You know what that means? That means that the kind of relationship that you want, that would make you happy, the warmth and connectedness that you're seeking, I'm not going to give that to you. That's what he's telling you. Now, instead of you accepting that reality, like, this man can't give me what I want, and he's straight telling me to my face that he's not going to do that, instead of you just saying, okay, well, I can see that we're incompatible, but it was nice meeting you. That's how this should have went. Instead, you're doing just like I said, not taking care of yourself and not respecting yourself. And you're trying to compromise what you need, what you want, and what you deserve in a relationship to make him happy. Fuck that motherfucker. He talking about, I'm a fearful avoid. Well, you just go fearful avoid yourself on over there somewhere and get out of my face. There's nothing here for you. I'm not interested in you. I don't want nothing to do with a man who's going to be trying to avoid me. I want a man who's going to be welcoming and excited about seeing me 3-4 times a week. That's what I want. That's not you. So you need to get the fuck out of here and take your silly ass on somewhere else. And see, they only like that until he going to meet the woman who he really want to be with. And then he'll be in her face like 24/7 and you won't even recognize him. But he can play this kind of game with you because he's not really feeling you like that. He just wants, the perks and benefits that you have to offer, while he gives you this bullshit excuse and you just accept it. Child, that's what kills me about this, because, these things be running around online, right? These things run around online, and you little girls, you read this stuff, and then you think, oh my God, this is meaningful. This is, this describes my boyfriend. He's a this, I'm a that, and this and that. You know what you need to do? Stay off them websites where they give excuses for men's errant and stupid behavior. Don't even pay attention to that. All you need to think about when you're dealing with a dude is he respecting you, number one, and number two, is he giving you the relationship that you want? That's number two. And then number three, is he consistent about it? Okay, if those 3 things are in place, then it's a go. If those 3 things are not in place, if only 1 or 2 of those things are in place, or all 3 of them are missing, then you pass him by. You don't have to come up with, oh, he's a narcissist. This is love bombing. This is, he's a type of avoiders, whatever. None of that even matters. None of those labels matter. Those are just irrelevant distractions from what's really going on in the relationship, which is nothing. Okay? Y'all get fixated on titles. That's why you want to be, what are we? And I just said, I just had to ask him, where's this going? Where are we? I need to know if we're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend or not. It don't mean that. Those things don't mean anything. It means nothing. Is he giving you the relationship that you need to feel secure, to feel loved, to feel like someone has got your back? Is he respecting you? Do your friends and family like him? Can you count on this motherfucker? Is he there when you need him, or does he always leave you hanging? Is he a man of his word? Is he consistent, or is he sometimey? These are the kind of things that you need to look at. And that's all you need to look at. All this other stuff, these labels and all this fancy stuff, all these books y'all like to be reading, and all this old tests you want to be taking, and Cosmo and all this old shit, waste of time. Waste of time. You just need to know 3 things. Like I said, is he respecting you? That means you, your body, your time, your property. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff under that umbrella of respect. Is he a man of his word? Can you count on him? Does he do what he say he's going to do? Is he going to give you the relationship that you need to feel secure, safe, and loved? Just those 3 things. That's all you have to think about. Everything else that y'all be distracting yourselves with is a bunch of irrelevant nonsense. It's really that simple. All right? I just summed up life for you in 3 points. So let's move on to this very last question of tonight. She wants to know, she's in the 22 to 27 age group, how do I tell my husband who's 30 that I'm not his therapist and I cannot handle his emotional baggage anymore? So I'm 25. I've been married to my husband who's 30 for 2 years. My husband very clearly has a lot of emotional issues, okay, which you knew before you married him, right? Which is okay, except the last 4 to 5 months, he's been putting way too much pressure on me. Every day he will say something along the lines of he's having a bad day due to, quote, being stuck in his head, end quote, which eventually leads to an argument every single time. To clarify, when he says he's, quote, stuck in his head, it usually means he's making up a scenario in his head, then taking it out on me. For example, I had a male friend who I've known long before I met my husband. My husband said this friendship made him uncomfortable recently and asked me to remove the friend from my social media. I did as he asked without a fight. Then my husband said he didn't really want me to delete the friend because then my friend would message me to ask him why. I'd tell him because my husband made me, and then that made the conversation. And my husband made me hide that conversation from my husband. What? I don't get what you just wrote. We then fought about that for about 20 minutes. I want to make it very clear that it did not happen. My husband made that up in his head. That's just one example of many. He makes things up and then really starts a fight with me about it, or will spend the rest of the day sitting around pouting. I can't ever talk to him about my feelings because it turns into an argument about his feelings. When I try to confront that issue, he says I'm twisting things and that I make everything his fault. At this point, he feels like an extra child, and I'm worried that he's too fragile to outright tell him that I'm not his therapist and I don't want to be. He's seriously starting to affect my mental health. Every time he says he's stuck in his head, I get so anxious because I know what the rest of the day is going to bring on to me. I've suggested he find a therapist. I've demanded he find a therapist, but he refuses. I love my husband, but he's ruining our marriage and making me not like him much anymore. My relationship feels fully one-sided. What can I do? Well, you probably don't want to do it because it's going to require you to be a bitch like me. But he says he's stuck in your head. Well, say, get the fuck unstuck. Because I'm tired of that shit. I don't want to, and don't you dare come at me with any made-up scenarios or any bullshit about what's stuck in your big fucking ass pumpkin head. I just saw a pumpkin head because it was Halloween yesterday or the other day, whatever. And it's like, I don't want to hear it. You got a mental case, some mental crazy shit going on, take your ass to a therapist. Other than that, I'm going to tell you this. You say that shit to me you got one more time to say that, and then I'm going to go to the nearest divorce attorney, and let's talk about how we're going to get you unstuck when you get served some papers. I bet you that'll get you out your fucking head, won't it? See, I would talk to him like that. And then he would be sitting there, and he would be looking, he would be stunned because you wouldn't be playing his game anymore. See, it's like, yeah, you get stuck in your head, and next thing you're gonna be stuck is at the divorce court, because I'm not dealing with this shit anymore, and I'm done. I want a normal husband. You so far from normal now, it's like I don't know what the fuck happened to you, but I swear I'm starting to hate the day I married your stupid ass. It was like a fuck waste of fucking time and money. That goddamn dress and all that bullshit we spent all that money on. I could have used that money and went to Europe and found me a decent husband. Somebody live in a fucking palace and shit. I'd have to be stuck here with your crazy ass talking about you stuck in your big ass pumpkin head. Ain't nobody interested in you like that. You better get unstuck, motherfucker. I'm just saying, I just don't do well with men who play them kind of games. Because I'm like, I'd be like, oh, I'd be like Celie. Is that what we doing? That what we doing? You know how Celie was looking at shit at what's his name, Mister, mess up that whole house while he trying to make breakfast for Sugar Avery. And she just sat there looking at him. That would be me. I love the Celie pose. This the half Celie. It's the half Celie. The full Celie. I just can't with these men. Giggles, I don't have any sense. And I don't feel good too. I even have less sense than I normally do. So this is awful. It's awful. But anyway, yeah, that was the show for today. And I really want to emphasize, young ladies, please go and register for this webinar so you can get it together. We saw so much evidence tonight of young women who need to attend this event and get it together. I mean, learn how to speak up for yourself, how to back motherfuckers up off of you, how to demand what you want to get the respect that you deserve. Don't let people take advantage of you and bullshit you and gaslight you. I mean, check motherfuckers. These are all things that you girls just don't seem to know how to do. Your parents aren't teaching you, that's obvious. And then it's like you're not, teaching each other either. So, really, you got to do better. I cannot stand the fact that there's so many young women. Like the lady today, she's going to downstroke to 40 and still fucked up in the head. How in the world do we have women like that and their parents? They're raising kids, and especially raising daughters. They don't even know what to say and do themselves, and they're having girls and putting them out there in the world with not teaching them anything. So, a bunch of girls that are scared of their own shadow and don't know how to speak up for themselves and back men up off of them. So I got a lot of work to do. I already started working on this thing. It's going to be a 2-hour webinar. Most webinars about an hour, 30 minutes, something. We're going to be there for 2 hours, and you're going to bring a notebook, and you're going to learn some shit on that day. I'm telling you. So I hope that everybody's good. We'll be here back tomorrow, though, because tomorrow's the last Dusty News Network show of the year. So come on through for some laughs. It'll be a little bit extra long because I got a bunch of stuff we want to kind of clear out as much as possible. So I'll see you guys here at 6 p.m. Pacific. Bring your drink and let's have fun. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.